Did you guys all run? Run with that object? What group were you in there? Okay, how did it go? Oh, you don't go till tomorrow. Okay. So for those of you guys that don't know me, my name is Jason Khalipa. I've won the CrossFit Games and I've competed in it 8 times. So I think I bring a little bit of knowledge to the table in terms of, just a little bit, in terms of like what it takes to get there, and then also, you know, the big picture about life. So what I wanted to do, the reason why it was so important to talk to you guys is, you guys are the future of the sport. And I want to make sure this sport doesn't go out of control. You know, when I got into the sport, there was no money, no fame, no fortune, nothing. I got into it because I loved it. I got into it because I was passionate about working hard. And now, because of social media and other things, people think that, you know, they could do it for money and fame. And the reality is, if you're doing it for that, it's not probably the right reason. So I just wanted to sit down, talk to you guys, and talk about balancing everything you have in your lives, right? Like, don't be a guy who's in the gym 7 hours a day and then forgets about school and forgets about their family, you know? So like, right off the bat, do you guys have any questions for me, and we can kind of start just chatting about it? What would you ask me if you had to ask me something? So I'm sitting here. What do you think? Nothing? All right, I'm going to start opening you guys up a little bit. So, I'm going to use this whiteboard real quick. So check this out. I got it. So check this out, guys. In your fitness, you have, like, let's just say 3 pillars of your fitness. Let's just say one pillar is like your cardio. One pillar is your gymnastics. And one pillar is your weightlifting. Right? Would you all agree that they're like 3 pillars of CrossFit, more or less? Like, and you want to be well-rounded in all of them, right? You don't want to be too strong, but you also don't want to have too good at gymnastics. So if you're too good at gymnastics, then you're not going to be as good at your strength. And if you're too good at cardio, you might not be good at something else. Do you guys all understand the blend that we have in CrossFit? Have you guys ever heard like the 10 general physical skills? And we want to have a blend across all of them? Well, think about this as your fitness. We all agree that in CrossFit, you want to have a blend against of these 3. Does everybody agree with that? Kind of? Then what we'd say is, okay, you start identifying your strengths and weaknesses, and you identify those strengths and weaknesses and then improve them. So let's just say for you, you're like right here on your cardio, right? But you're really, really good at gymnastics, and you're really, really good at weightlifting. What do you think, if I'm your coach, I'm gonna ask you to do? What do you think I'm gonna ask you to work on if you're really good at this and really good at this, but not so good at this? Probably this, right? And then maybe for you, you're really good here, but you're not so good here. If you're not so good at something, you're gonna work on it, right? Now, I want to use this same analogy and then put it towards life. In CrossFit, we want a blend of all of these. That makes the most complete athlete. In life, we want a blend of all of these because it makes us the best human being. Let me explain. In life, you have school, you have family, and you have fitness. Right? In your life right now. So for me, I have family, my business, which pays the bills, right? Because I have to work, and then my fitness. For you, you don't necessarily have to work right now. Your parents work, and you guys are responsible to go to school. Do we all agree there's 3 things in your life? Your family, your fitness, and your school. Agreed? Great. So now, if you agree with that, then you start looking at, if this is your overall talk to you guys about today is you guys need to start looking at yourselves and knowing that life is all about a balance. So if you guys could all wrap your head around the fact that CrossFit's a balance, so is life. So ask yourself a question. Are you doing really poorly in school, but you're doing really good at the CrossFit thing? Well, that's not necessarily good. Or you're doing really good at CrossFit and you're doing really good at school, but you're being a terrible son, daughter, or I shouldn't say terrible. You're not being as good of a son or daughter as you can be, right? So what I would recommend to all of you is looking at your life as these 3 pillars and identifying which one you need to work on, right? And then getting better at it. So let's just say you want a blend of all of these. You want to get good grades. You want to be a good, son, daughter, brother, sister, and you also want to have a good fitness. A balance. Are we all good with this concept right now? Everybody gets it? Now, if you understand this balance, then what we'll do, because we're in a CrossFit setting, is I'm going to go ahead and talk about this one pillar right here. So if we all get the balance concept, what I want to talk about now is balancing your fitness. So a lot of you guys, how many of you guys play other sports besides CrossFit? Okay. How many of you guys utilize CrossFit as a way to benefit your other sports? A couple of you guys? What I want to really make sure you guys understand is, let's not get too wrapped up in the CrossFit thing. CrossFit's great, okay? I've competed at the highest level for a decade now. I've been doing it longer than 99% of people. But I always remember why I got into it. The reason why I got into CrossFit is to push myself to make me better, right? And to compete against other people to see what my body's capable of doing. But I didn't get into it because I wanted to be Instagram famous. I didn't get into it because I wanted to win $250,000. Because I'm here to tell you right now, right here, just listen to me. I'm a guy who's won the games. And I'm telling you that if you're only trying to go to the games to become famous, you're never gonna do it. Instead, go there because you want to work hard and you want to have fun doing it, right? The money does not come quick, and most of the time it doesn't come at all. And so you guys should really be focused on a balance in everything you're doing, because yes, this is a huge part of your life, but it's only a part of your life. It's not what it's not who you are, right? So if I was to say, hey, what is your identity? You'd say, I'm a son, I'm a brother, I'm a student, and I'm an aspiring athlete, right? But you're not just a CrossFit Games athlete, right? You're not just a CrossFit athlete. You're other things. So make sure that this doesn't take up all your time. Spend time with friends, right? If all you're doing is in the gym by yourself training, I'm sorry I keep hitting your knee, by the way. If all you're doing is in the gym training by yourself, you're never fostering connections, right? You need to foster connections. Make friends in school and out of school. Be on team competitions, but make sure you're interacting. I'll give you a quick story. Growing up, I used to race BMX bikes. Does any of you guys know what BMX bikes are?
I race too.
Are they still around these days?
Yeah.
And I used to race BMX bikes and I absolutely loved it. But one of the problems with racing BMX is it was a very individual sport, right? Individual sport. Now, every now and then I was on a team. So for example, I competed for, I had sponsors, right? And my sponsors then had like multiple people. So I would kind of identify with them. But I would always ultimately be on me. It was all about me. And I loved that about it, but I also never learned a very important lesson early on, that teamwork is critical in everything you do for the rest of your life. It wasn't until I got to high school I started playing football and I started making friends that I realized just how much being on a team plays a role for the rest of your life. So just make sure for all of you guys, right? Love CrossFit, do CrossFit, be fit as heck, but just remember to also have team-related sports in your life, because they develop good connections and bonds, right? Don't just be the guy who's in the gym by yourself for hours a day. There's nothing, because then what happens later on in life, right? You no longer know how to be socially connected to people. You just kind of get where I'm going with this? So in a nutshell, where I wanted to talk about it is, guys understand having a fitness balance. I want you to have a life balance. And in that life balance, I want you to have a balance in your fitness. Meaning, yes, I want you to get better. I want you to snatch better. I want you to win events. Excellent. But don't be so wrapped up in it that you forget everything else that's going on. And don't become engulfed in just staying in the gym by yourself. Still try and go out with your friends and go do things. Right? You could do everything. You can. You could go out with your friends and go jump on the trampoline and go work out later. You don't need to tell them, hey, I can't go to that party because I want to go work out, right? Or no, I'm eating 100% paleo. I can't have cake at your birthday party. Like, it's okay to eat cake at a birthday party. You'll be perfectly fine, I promise you, right? Just have a balance and you'll end up much better. You know, one of the reasons why I've been able to compete longer than anybody else in this sport is because I've had a balance, right? I'm not some random guy telling you this. I'm a guy that's placed in the top five times, or whatever it is, maybe more, I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, so I'm telling you, as a guy who's done it, you can have balance in your life and still be successful in the CrossFit Games. But as soon as you only get fully engulfed with this, you'll never be successful at it because you'll have too much pressure on yourself and you won't know how to allow yourself to just relax a little bit. Any questions on that concept right there about having balance? Parents, you guys kind of get where I'm going with this a little bit? Okay, hopefully you guys agree with me. If not, I'm sorry. The second thing I want to talk about is how to learn how to control yourself in competition. So, I used to, you know, how many of you guys are at school and you guys want to get a little bit closer so I could like not yell so much? How many of you guys, and don't lie to me, how many of you guys have ever been at school and your teacher's teaching? And how many of you guys aren't paying attention to what your teacher's saying and is just thinking about your next workout or your next competition? Yeah, right? I know it, right? So the next thing I want you to think about is to be present in what you're doing, guys. Be present as a human being. I'm going to share a real world story. It was before the 2013 regionals or one of those events. There was an event where you had to walk on your hands. Do you guys remember this one where Sam Briggs actually didn't qualify because she stepped out? You guys might not remember this, but basically in the regionals, doesn't matter how good you were, if your hand touched the tape, you were disqualified, pretty much, more or less. And so I was having dinner with my wife and daughter, and at the time, I didn't have a son. I ate dinner, I went back home, and I couldn't remember what I ate or a word my wife or daughter said to me because I was so focused on winning the competition that I wasn't present with my daughter and wife. So what I'm going to ask you guys to do, and I'm going to give you advice, the way that you keep your body under control is by segmenting your day out and being focused on competing when you're focused in the gym. When you leave the gym, that door closes and the next door opens, which is you going to school. Leave the fitness behind. You'll come back to it, I promise, right? But try and focus on school when you're in school so you get the best grades you can, so you're not thinking about your next clean and jerk, you're thinking about algebra or whatever you're doing, right? And then when you go home and you're with your family, you know, try and be a good brother, sister, or kid. Don't be so wrapped up that you're sitting there watching YouTube videos all night of people like me at the games, right? You have plenty of time for that, but keep a balance. And the last thing is, only worry about what's in your control. I have a sports psychologist, right? I've spent a decade trying to develop this concept, and if you guys can learn it, you'll be crushing it. How many times have you guys worried about, even today, the rain? Have you guys worried about the rain, right? You guys are worried about the event. You guys are worried about your other competitors. Hey, what is he doing? Hey, what is he doing? Right? All of these things that you worry about, they're outside of your control, right? So if you're worried about, for example, if you're worried about, I don't know, if you're worried about what the workout's going to be tomorrow, are you in control of that at all? No. So why the hell do you worry about it? You shouldn't worry about it because it's out of your control, right? So the only thing you guys should be worried about is what's in your control. What's in your control is your preparation for the workout, how you tie your shoes, your warm-up, things like that. Be worried about those, but don't be worried about the rain. This is an act of Mother Nature. It's out of your control. But what is in your control is keeping your hands dry, right? And doing things to best prepare you. Once you learn how to let the things go that you're out of control of and include the things you're in control of, you'll never be more happy. You guys get where I'm going with that? And on that next note is understand that be confident when you get on the gym, when you get on the floor. Be confident because you guys you had to qualify to get here, right? Yeah? Did you qualify? So you earned the right to be on that floor. You earned it. So be confident in your ability because you earned the right to be there, right? When I would go to the CrossFit Games, I'd be sitting there looking at the Rich Fronings, the Scott Pancheks. I'd be like, oh man, I don't know if I should be here. Like second guessing myself. But then I remember, no, I won my regionals. I earned the right to be here because of all the hard work that I've done and because of I've qualified. So when you guys go out there tomorrow, be confident in your abilities. You guys have earned the right to be confident because you put in the work every single day. Then when you get on the gym floor, know that you've put in the work, you've done everything you can, and the rest is outside of your control. The only thing that's in your control is your pace right here, right now. Your competitors, they're out of your control. Don't worry about it, right? I don't care if he wins. I don't care if he's ahead of me right now, because if he's ahead of me right now, but I know my pace, right? I need to stick with my pace, and then with a very short bit of time left, then I kick it into gear. But if I try and keep up with him off the start, he might be going too fast or maybe too slow. So stick to your game plan. Come up with your game plan with your parents and your coaches and stick to it. All right? So I just went off on little tangents, but basically balance your fitness, balance your life as if you balance your fitness. Only worry about what's in your control and know that you've earned the confidence when you get out there because you've put in all this work to get there. If every day when you go to sleep, you ask yourself one simple question: did I put myself in the best position today to get to my goal? Whatever that goal is. For me, it was winning the games. Every night before I went to bed, I'd say, did I do everything in my power to win the CrossFit Games? If the answer is yes, then I can sleep nice at night. And if the answer was no, then tomorrow, let's improve upon it. But that same mentality that I take to CrossFit, you guys need to take to school and family. When you go to bed at night, did I do the best I could to get the best grades I could, to be the best student, be the best child I could, and to win my goals? If you guys go to bed every night and do that, then by the time the competition comes around, you're just at ease. That's all you need to do. This is the fun part right here. Are you guys having fun? If you're not having fun, start having fun. Otherwise, why the hell are you guys working so hard? You know what I mean? I get fired up, sorry. So what else is for me? You guys got anything for me, or you guys good? Yeah, absolutely. The question was, have I ever felt like I don't want to compete anymore, or I don't want to train anymore? The answer is yeah, that's normal, right? That's why you need to know this very important thing. What is your why? You need to know your why, right? My why for years when I was competing is because I loved waking up in the morning, kicking my own butt, and improving my physical ability. And when I went to go compete, it was my expression of my why. I loved training, and I wanted to show myself that I could do good in front of everybody. I wanted to prove to myself that I could accomplish these tasks. That was my why. And it was ingrained in my head and my heart. So when the times got tough that I didn't want to train, right? I went back to my why. And if your why is about this, or this, it's easy to go away, right? Think about it like this. There's a lot of people who have a lot of faith. Let's just say religion, okay? I'm not going to go into that subject, but let's just say those people who have faith in a religion, whatever that may be. They have so much faith in it that they know their why. Their why is because they purely believe that this particular thing. you need to have so much faith in your why that when things get tough, you'll stick with it, right? You'll stick with that particular thing. And where I'm going with this, I'm going to tell you guys another story. Have you guys ever heard of Camp Pendleton? You guys ever heard of that triathlon at Camp Pendleton? Any of you guys? A couple of you guys? In 2012, I competed in an event, right? And it was Camp Pendleton. It was a swim, bike, run. The night before, I was freaking out. I didn't sleep all night long. You know, you might hear all these like glamour stories out there about how people are so. I'm telling you the straight up truth. I've sat down with all the top competitors. They're not invincible. They're not Superman. I'm sitting here telling you the night before Camp Pendleton, the first again, I was shaking in bed with my wife because I was so nervous for the next day. I go to the event and I perform it. And I'm in the middle of this run. It was a 10-mile crazy run. You all right? Okay. It goes back to that present and focus thing, right? Like I'm sitting here sharing my time with you guys. Let's try and be present and focus on what we're doing. So I'm in the middle of this run, right? 10-mile run, really terrible. And I get to a point where I'm exhausted. I'm about 7 miles in. It was up and down. And I see a tarantula. No, I'm not lying. A tarantula cross the road. And at this point, I'm like half jogging, right? Like I'm not really running. And I'm just looking down. I'm just like, really? A tarantula? And I look around me. There's not a soul anywhere. I'm in the middle of Camp Pendleton's military base. No one's anywhere. I'm just like, holy moly. And so I start second guessing my why. Why am I here? Why am I doing this? I see a tarantula. I just stop for a moment and ask myself, why am I doing this? I don't have to be in the middle of a desert running 10 miles. But then I reminded myself of my why. My why is that I committed to do this event and I'm going to see it through because that's the type of person I am. Once you make a commitment, you commit to it and you go through it. And that was my why. But each and every one of you guys needs to know your why. Why are you here today? Why are you training? The stronger your why is, the better you'll be able to perform. Because I'm telling you right now, 80% of this whole CrossFit thing is in your between your ears. You know? I'm not that much more, I don't even think I'm much at all physically talented than a lot of guys I've competed against over the years. I have a training partner that used to beat me every single day. Every day. But at regionals and the games, he's never beat me because I was able to know my why and keep pushing through the hard times. Once you know this, it'll make everything you do in competition a lot easier. And when you have those tough days, it's okay. Take a day off, reflect, and come right back to it. Yeah? Hopefully that was a little bit of just a wake up in the sense of like, guys, CrossFit's the greatest thing ever, but it's not the only thing ever, right? I know you guys love CrossFit, so do I, but it's not what defines me. I'm a dad, I'm a husband, I'm a business owner. For you guys, you're a student, you're a brother, sister, son, daughter, and you're an aspiring, police officer, whatever you want to be. You could be anything you want in the world right now. But don't get too wrapped up in CrossFit where it starts taking you away from having balance in your overall life. Because one day you might wake up, the CrossFit thing might be gone, and you're left with nothing. Have a good balance. Good? All right, cool. If you guys have any more questions, come and talk to me, guys. But hopefully one day you'll look back on this conversation and you'll understand what I was trying to say. Right now you might not, but one day maybe you will. Parents, you guys probably get what I'm saying about that, right? All right. Thanks, guys. Cool.